Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Today we're in John chapter 4. I'm going to read verses 21 down through 24. Jesus is engaged in a dialogue with the Samaritan woman. He says next, Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem you will worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews." So he's making the point that there's a history that tells the story of God that reaches beyond even Samaritan history. But the hour is coming and is now here when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. Now, this short dialogue right here between Jesus and this woman I think is fascinating, especially in this moment. Because remember, first, the discussion begins with basic human need, which was water. Second, the conversation then turns to a discussion about a different kind of water, which was eternal water or eternal life. Third, then Jesus takes it personal by addressing the woman's personal and perpetual sin, that she's an adulterer and a fornicator. And then fourth, they're now talking about matters of religious debate, like locations and types and places of worship. And this is the part of the discussion that I find super interesting here. It's right here. They end up arguing about who's attending the right church. Ever had that discussion before? But Jesus isn't going to argue with her about this because this matter doesn't matter to him. The issue for Jesus is not the location of worship, but the nature of her worship, that it's in spirit and in truth. And the nature of worship can only be understood by looking beyond temporal matters of debate to what God has been revealing throughout history. Therefore, Jesus is not going to argue with her about things like national pride or her woke religious beliefs or what our early church fathers have declared, nor her race or gender. He does not get hung up on these things. Now, I don't think he ignores them. He definitely sees and hears them, but he's not going to let any of these matters keep him from presenting the thing that really matters, because he knows that she wants to know and worship God. And what is so laughable about this moment is that worship is about to happen on this mountain in this historical location. The God of all worship is standing right in front of her, and all she's got to do if she really wants to worship God is get down on her knees. So here's the application for us today. You know, as believers, I think we need to do a better job of presenting the truth to those who don't know Jesus. And this requires us, that's us, to see past peripheral matters to get to the issue that really matters. Therefore, this might mean that we're going to have to look beyond the prejudices that we have about others, like their race and their gender and political beliefs and religious beliefs and hurts and hang-ups and perpetual sin and even misunderstandings about God, to discover their real needs and real issues and real questions regarding spiritual matters. And the only way that we can do this, brothers, is by setting aside our prejudices and norms and seeing people from a spiritual perspective. And I believe that's why Jesus doesn't argue with her about any of these things. They're not his primary concern. And he's willing to risk breaking a few cultural prejudices and norms to get to her heart so that she will see everything from a different perspective. So today, when you interact with people that don't know Jesus, don't get hung up on all the wrong things about them. That's how they are supposed to act, by the way. We are the ones who are supposed to act differently. So see past all the peripheral issues in that person's life and look at them spiritually. See them as a spiritual creature. See them as spiritual people on a quest to know God. And when the time is right, challenge yourself to break from your matters so that they might know the one who really matters. And that's Jesus. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you and challenged you today. If it has, share it with someone else. And I'll see you right back here again.